What are you hearing from them now?
That they are really happy that people who should not be here are being asked to leave, that they're really happy that Washington's being held responsible and accountable for wasteful Washington spending, that they want to see the government be more efficient, more effective, and more accountable. The only criticism that they have is they don't want the president to take his eye off the ball when it comes to how much their day-to-day life costs them. These are people who, when you say paycheck to paycheck, it means that their house is barely paid for. It means that they have nothing left over at the end of the week or end of the month. And they want to make sure that this administration is as focused now as they were during the election campaign. They believe in everything else, but they're wondering, what will tariffs do to prices? What will a focus on changing the way that Washington works, how will that impact them favorably in their wallets and in their pocketbooks?
It's always so great to have you on because you spend so much time talking with these folks. You have your focus groups, you go out, you find people, and are able to distill it down. But there is this other word, perhaps, for paycheck-to-paycheck voters, not for all of them, but for a lot of them, which would be Medicaid recipients. These are people who are on the cusp there, and there now is a new boogeyman being created by Democrats that somehow Donald Trump is going to cut Medicaid benefits, who and how people qualify, etc. Here he is in the cabinet room after being asked about that.
Can you guarantee that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security will not be touched?
Yeah, I mean, I have said it so many times, you shouldn't be asking me that question, okay? This will not be read my lips. It won't be read my lips anymore. We're not going to touch it. Now, we are going to look for fraud. I'm sure you're okay with that, like people that shouldn't be on, people that are illegal aliens and others.
Is that enough for those voters, Frank?
No, but nothing will be enough for them. And the reason why is that one health care crisis bankrupts them. And when I say bankrupt, it actually means they could lose their homes, they could lose their livelihoods. And so they're on the edge. And so they've heard this from politicians before, making promises that they assert, but they do not keep. And it's one of the reasons why Washington is so distrusted, why Congress has such a low approval rating, that the fact is the public does not believe that what they're being told is what actually happens. So the president and Congress are going to have to say this again and again. And frankly, they're going to have to show it in the actual legislation itself. And make no mistake, Donald Trump has a higher approval rating right now than he did at any time in his first administration. But, and this is a big but, some of the things that they have done over the last 2 or 3 weeks have tremendous support, but not the language, not how it's being communicated. The fact is the public does not want a chainsaw. People at CPAC, conservatives, want to take a chainsaw to government. These paycheck-to-paycheck voters, they're not ideological, they're not political, and they're not partisan. They simply want to survive. And so many of them voted for Donald Trump, who had traditionally voted Democrat in the past. They're the reason why Trump won this election. You're correct about that. But now they expect the president to deliver, and they want his focus on their livelihoods from the moment they wake up in the morning until the moment they go to sleep at night. And they want the politicians to keep their promises to make that day-to-day affordability, and that's the key word in this.
Look, and that takes time. Affordability takes time. To change prices and energy policy, everything else, that does take time. We've talked about Donald Trump. We've talked about Democrats. We've talked about Congress. We've talked about Republicans and conservatives. Haven't talked about Elon Musk. How does Elon Musk play with this group that doesn't want a chainsaw to government and may very well be government employees, working class voters, paycheck to paycheck voters? They very well may be benefits of some of the very programs that Musk wants to just blast through and deal with later.
That is, not only is that an accurate question, but you clearly understand it better than some people in Washington do. And my message to Elon Musk is they believe in the principles that he's articulated. They believe in the effort that he's doing, but they don't believe in the way that he's communicating it. and he's creating enemies that don't necessarily have to exist.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.